Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to have our good friends come on the show, especially when they're geniuses. And we are joined by someone I've known for more than 20 years, who has built a huge career as an entrepreneur, as someone who's been helping others, especially other women, achieve their dreams and become successful. So we're honored to have our good friend, Monica Birdsong Snyder. It's what I call her because I've known her for so long. But Monica Snyder, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thank you. Yes. A lot of people still call me Monica Birdsong, so that's fine. I've only been married a few years, so yeah.
So I'm still in that curve.
I know. I mean, you came to the wedding.
That is true. I have some ownership in that side of it. So let's talk, because you're one of those, when we dive into what we're going to talk about, the way that I always explain it is that you're one of those rare individuals who can communicate on both sides. And when I say that, you can communicate with business leaders, and you can put things like innovation, technology, software, coding, funnels, all these things we're going to talk about, e-learning platforms. You can distill those into an understandable form for us in the layman's side to be able to say, okay, I get it, I understand it, and now let's do this together. And so on the tech side and the business side, you can walk that middle lane. Share a little bit of just your world and your kind of experience, and then we'll dive into everything that you're doing currently.
Sure. So it started actually when I was 8, I started coding in software. And so I was doing that in my career. And what I found as I kept talking to people was that developers can't talk to business people, but I didn't know that that was unusual because I always could. And I don't know if that's because I grew up in a big family, but I'm really good at communicating across different lanes. And I started to realize that this was a skill that people didn't have, because you know how you have your own gifts, you don't realize that they're your gifts. So I started figuring that out, and then I started using that to cross those bridges and bring people together in a way that other people don't have the ability to. So it's been really fun because I can speak super geek. You know, if you put me in a room full of developers or technical people, I'll talk to you about all that stuff that I don't even want to use the terms for because I'll confuse you. But then I also had to learn marketing because I was building all this software, but nobody was buying it. And I was like, well, I need people to buy my stuff. And so I had to figure out marketing. And they're very different, but they're also kind of the same, especially digital marketing, because digital marketing has a lot of tech components. And right now, marketing tech is huge. So that gap is being filled by a lot of different softwares and things, but it's really fun because it's sort of like technical and marketing all put together. And that's, right where I love things to be.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's perfect because your worlds all collide.
Yeah, and it's great.
But one of the things I think, though, that and you've been already starting to help me, and I've learned so much already, but you're very process driven. And I think that that's what a lot of this takes, is it takes discipline, but it takes the process. So share a little bit of just when you talk about process, where you like to start the conversation and how you like to build out the process as you sit down with your clients.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I always try to get to is why we're building this system, like what the goal is, because unless I know the goal, then I can't recommend a great system, because there's a lot of different ways to get to a goal. So I usually know the fastest way or one of the best ways or whatever it is. But if I don't know your goal, then I can't really help you very well. So I start down the path of why you're doing things, what you want to improve, and then why you want to improve it. Because the other thing I've found over my years of talking to people is that they'll try to give me a solution. They're like, oh, well, I want this kind of funnel. Well, I'm like, well, why do you want that funnel? And then they'll start telling me, and I'm like, well, actually, this is a better way to get to the to your goal, right? Because they think one thing, but I have this whole perspective of software and funnels and marketing and sort of like a whole big picture that they don't have. So I know a lot of times they think that they want one thing, but I'm always like, yeah, that's actually a good idea, but that's out of sequence, and you should be doing that in 3 years, right? Or 2 years. And let's start over here because this is going to get you faster what you want. So that's generally, I start with why and the goals, because otherwise I'm just like, if you want to make it to California, well, let's not go to New York first if you're starting in Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, that's a good analogy. So describe what a funnel is for those who don't understand kind of some of the basic terminology. Describe funnel.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a very direct set of web pages that you take your customer or user down so that they are inclined to make specific actions. So you start with a very specific page that wants you to do one thing. So each step of the funnel only has one thing. And you can think of it like a funnel. So I know in marketing, you have sort of top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. think of those now as web pages. So on the first page, if I want to get your email address so that I can get you on your mailing list, then that is my entire goal of that page. And that's different than like a web page that is generally, you've got a nav bar, there's 16 things going on in a blog, and maybe there's an opt-in for your thing on the side. There's too much going on for that person to know like this one thing. So the funnel is a series of do this one thing steps. And then there's different kinds of funnels, and you can take people through different journeys for different reasons, but it's basically a specific set of pages to create an end goal.
Share a little bit, because this is something that you walked me through even last night, is the fact that there are so many ways, like you said, to get to the same end result, but it really is, it's like, okay, here's the step one for this funnel, and then ultimately you want them to make this move, which then leads them to this higher price point over here, which then leads them to this e-learning module over here, and then this. And so, I mean, really building out a robust network, if you will, of options to be able to create a customer journey.
Yes. So we call that a customer journey, actually, or we call it also a value ladder. So I want you to think about Starbucks, right? You can go to Starbucks and you can get a $2 cup of coffee, right? You can get the tall Pike Place and just buy that $2 cup of coffee. Or if you look around their store, they also have a $2,000 espresso machine in there, right? There is a range of products, and you can do that in the digital world as well. So you have a smaller priced project that you get somebody in your funnel with, and that helps create a buyer into your email list. One of the big ultimate goals in digital marketing is to build your email list, because that is traffic that you can just, own. You send whatever you want. You don't have to worry about if you're going to get kicked off of a platform because, they have their own rules. It's basically, your sort of real estate in digital marketing is your website and your email list. So we're always trying to get people on our email list. The smaller ticket items, the $2 cup of coffee, that is to get people, in the door and on your list that pay. But also you need to have the $2,000 espresso machine so that they can ascend up your value ladder and that they can spend more money with you. Because the thing is once they get to know you and like and trust you, they want to spend more money with you. So if you don't have those higher ticket things, then they can't do that, right? And then they're going to have to go find somebody else to solve their problems. So at the smaller level, the $2 cup of coffee, you're solving, okay, I need a coffee right now, right? But at the $2,000 espresso machine, I'm going to teach you how to make coffee by yourself at home. But then guess what? You need to buy my supplies over and over to actually be able to do that. So there's some strategy and some stuff behind it. And then the funnels that you build at each step are slightly different because of the level of education and the level of awareness that your reader needs to see.
So these are all the things that you're coaching others to help them be more successful as they build out their own platforms. And these are also the things that you're working with businesses to do to figure out, okay, let's build these customer journeys, these value ladders. Let's figure out where we start, where we want to end up, what is the end goal, but also too, like, what are the bigger, higher ticket items that you can leverage? And so really helping them understand the whole process. Share relationship and revenue, because this is one of your sides of your businesses that you've developed. So talk about that.
Yes, so that is an email program that teaches people how to go in and set up some automations in their emails and also do broadcasts and basically bring your email readers on a journey with you throughout their experience with you in their email list. A lot of people think that an email list is just, a series of broadcasts, but really you need to be using your email list to get information and to give back that information, right? So you ask them what they want in a certain way, and then you give them back that information and let them know. And then also you can use it to, anytime you want to create a new product, you can get their reader input, right? Because these are your customers. And so what they have to say is really important. Now, I know that some people think, not just to listen to their input, but it's definitely a big part of it, right? I know there's the famous saying of Henry Ford of like, they would have just told me to build faster horses. And part of that's true, but you still need to know like what their goals are, so that you can help them reach those goals. And once you do that and you understand that, then it's really easy to write a promotional campaign to sell a different product to them. And this works for, all kinds of businesses. If you have a service business, if you have an e-commerce business, if you're selling physical products, it doesn't really matter. People want to buy from you. You just need to give them a buy button sometimes. So, and
I think that's something you do very well, is you actually take that knowledge and what they give you, you build almost the marketing page first, and then you go back and you build all the content behind it.
Yes, because why would I want to build something that nobody wants? So.
So, I mean, little things like that, it's kind of like, wow, okay, yeah, you're right. Talk about on your end, kind of the e-learning side of this, because you work with businesses and individuals and you really help them create what I say modules, but I know that's not necessarily the technical term on your end, but these kind of e-learning experiences that have the opportunity to be monetized, and then that gives them something that they can sell and package, but they basically create the album that they can sell in perpetuity, and you can put it in so many different places. And so walking them through that process and kind of holding their hand through that process is something that you do.
Yes. So, when you have the ability to create a digital product, you guys have seen this in a bunch of different formats. People are learning this way now, right? They're going online, they're finding a product that meets a specific need. And when I say a product, I mean a set of information. And that can be digital, that can be audio, that can be video, that can be a combination. It can be worksheets, it can be, certain kinds of software. But those packaged together to create a transformation for the person who buys is what I teach people to do, right? So, and the transformation can be big or small. So let me give you an example. So you may want to do how to do a media interview, right? Like you could teach people how to interview people. You're really good at it. You've done a ton of it. There's tips and tricks that you know on how to do that. We could go build a course around that would teach somebody how to do that. Well, then we could expand on that because they might want to start their own podcast, right? So here's all the things that you need to start a podcast, right? So that's that one little thing, which is like how to interview, would be a smaller ticket item. And then how to create an entire podcast would be a bigger ticket item because it's a bigger transformation.
Yeah.
But every business has processes and procedures that they use that other people would love to learn. It doesn't matter what kind of business that you have. I mean, you do something in your business that other businesses would need to know. And you just need to think about those and really, around your standard operating procedures and things like that. That's where you have the ideas for products. So I come in and I'm like, what do you guys do? And then I know the market well enough usually to be like, that is a good idea. So, yeah. And then we can market it.
And then I'll say, and then making it very easy and fun in the process, but opening their eyes to how they can really leverage that for new audiences, obviously new revenue opportunities. You can do so much with that. Carry
Yes.
that forward with the work that you're doing, because I know one of your goals is to help 30 women become millionaires. And so you are well on your way with that, but talk about what that is in terms of the importance for you personally and how you're going about it.
Yes, so I really want to empower women because if I can make 30 women millionaires, then they're going to help other women become millionaires and they're going to help other people, right? What I love about being an entrepreneur is the ripple effect, right? So like if I help your business business turns around and helps, thousands of people, right? So that is just so cool to think of the impact that we have all over the world. And I think I told you I was finding myself not dreaming big enough. I'd actually stalled for a while because I had met all my goals and, I built the family and I built the business and I did all the things. And I was like, well, now what do I do? So now I've got this, big audacious goal. And that's why I picked, make 30 women millionaires. And so that's what I'm going to be working for. And that's, where these systems come into place. Because the thing that I'm really driven by systems. I love systems. And so putting systems in place to make you a millionaire, but also not have to work 24/7 because nobody wants to do that, right? And that's where the systems come into play, because when you build them right, like those email marketing systems that I teach you in relationship and revenue, they work for you, right? So one of those systems in there is a onboarding sequence, which brings somebody from like, I gave you my email address to purchasing a product. And it's 12 emails, but that is like a 24/7 salesperson, right? The minute somebody hits your email address, they automatically have somebody in their inbox, because it's you, right? But like in there automatically just working for you, right? So yeah, that system takes a little bit to build, but they don't take vacations. They don't have sick leaves, right? Okay, they might have a little bit of downtime if there's a server break, but honestly, like building that is like a 24/7, 365 salesperson. And those are the systems that I want to drive the businesses. And then when a series of those are in place, $1 million is actually relatively easy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was about to say,
because you're making it process driven, that's scalable, and to your point, working 24/7. So your technology is working for you while you're asleep, which is the end goal for everyone. Make money while you're asleep.
I just got a ping from my phone. I just made money on this call.
See, there you go. Well, see, that's why we say you're a genius, and that's why I love you. Is you can see and hear obviously the enthusiasm and the love for what you do, but also the care for others. So go ahead and wrap up and tell everyone where they can go to learn more about what you're doing, to connect in and get in touch with you.
Yes, monicasnyder.com is the best place, and that's SNYDER. And I would love to connect with you. There's a connect page on there, and the links to all the products and how you can work with me are there. And I would love, love, love to hang out with you because Jeremy's people are the best.
Well, there you go. Well, we greatly appreciate you, Monica. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.